Hello, everyone, and welcome to SCORE Fairfield County's live webinar on using artificial intelligence to write your website copy, do's and don'ts. I'm Bob Hogan, the webinar coordinator today and a business mentor here at SCORE Fairfield County. I'm going to be your host, and our presenter is Jennifer DeRosa. More on Jennifer in just a minute, but first some brief information on SCORE. SCORE is a nonprofit national partner of the SBA with over 10,000 volunteers across the country. And locally here at SCORE Fairfield County, we've got about 100 volunteers with a wide range of industry process and subject matter expertise. And we offer 3 primary value-added services to small business owners. Jennifer, if I could just ask you to advance the slide, please. First of all, we offer free one-on-one counseling, and you can access that either in person, via video, telephone, or email, whatever works best for you. And you can do that by asking for a mentor on our website. Just click the request a mentor link and someone will get back to you, or you can use the yellow bit.ly link that you see here on the screen. Secondly, we offer a wide range of educational workshops and webinars, and we're now offering in-person workshops again. And lastly, we offer extensive resources on our website, including access to subject matter experts, tools, and various kinds of information. Our next live webinar will be tomorrow, April 19th at noon, and the topic is planning and managing business growth with Bill Schloth presenting. And again, you can find more specifics on our website, fairfieldcounty.score.org. If you're on our website, we also have a large number of recorded webinars that cover a wide range of business topics, and you can view those at any time by just clicking on demand webinars. It's now my pleasure to, I'd just like to go over some logistics first. Just some logistics. We've set aside time for Q&A at the end of the presentation. So if you have a question, you can ask it at any time by using the Q&A button on your screen and just type it in, and we'll take as many as we can. We will end our webinar at 1 p.m. today, and it is being recorded, and the recording of the webinar will be available within the next day or so on our website, fairfieldcounty.score.org. It's now my pleasure to introduce our speaker today, Jennifer DeRosa. Jennifer is the founder of Toto Coaching, an online website building course with weekly coaching to help small businesses and entrepreneurs build a solid, effective website that pre-sells their products and services and develops trust. She recently sold her successful website development agency, TechCare, founded in 2001, to coach others. Prior to forming TechCare, Jennifer was a consultant for such major companies as MBCC, US Surgical, GTE, GE Capital, Unilever, and Calvin Klein. I'll now turn it over to Jennifer. Jennifer, it's all yours.
Thanks, Bob. Hopefully everyone can hear me. Okay. So that was awesome. And hopefully we're going to, I would just first of all want to say thank you to SCORE for all of the support that it's given me over the years and that it gives to all of you, and for this opportunity to be able to teach you some things that I know and for us to all be able to share knowledge. So what I want to do is today, I want you all to come away with something actionable and some things that you can try right either during this webinar or right afterwards. So that is my goal for the whole thing. So we're going to talk about today AI for your website, do's and don'ts. We're going to have some fun. So I hope you're ready for that. So first of all, let's just go over a little syllabus. We're going to talk about what artificial intelligence is briefly, so we're all on the same page. We're going to talk about some tools that we have in the web world that we can use right now. I'm going to be giving you some examples. We're going to be discussing throughout the whole webinar how to prompt. And then we're going to go over what to use AI for and what not to use AI for. So you'll have some clear understanding about that. First of all, Bob gave me a little introduction, and thank you for that. And as he said, I've been doing websites for a long time. I learned HTML in 1994 for fun. After my day job, I ended up going to the Chubb Institute of Technology, where I got a networking certificate, and I started off as a Novell engineer. If you know what that is, I'm dating myself. But I always loved technology, and I was trying to get people to build websites back then, but no one really had websites. And eventually people caught up. And so my agency switched over to providing more web services to people. And I've been a guest speaker at, SCORE, definitely, Women in WordPress, other meetups, I love giving talks. And I sold the company, as he mentioned, to form Toto Coaching, because I get a lot of people asking me a lot of questions, and I love explaining why they need to do something or why something is happening. And so that's my passion. And so I finally decided that I'm going to take all my knowledge and make it ubiquitous for anyone who's trying to build a website. So I formed Toto Coaching in just a little over a year ago. So that's a little bit about me. I want to take a temperature, and for the questions, if you can put them in the Q&A section, I will try to answer them at the end. But I want to use chat right now, and I want to get a temperature of where we are. So if you all can put in chat just a number here, put a 1 if you've never seen ChatGPT or an AI writing tool in use, you don't know what it is. 2, you played around with it, but you're not sure what to do with it. 3, you used it already and you want some more ideas. And 4, you're an expert, but you just can't stop learning about this. Okay, so I'm seeing a lot of 1s, some 3s in here. Okay, a couple 2s were kind of, okay, so 1 seems to be a predominant number, which is great. 2s, 3s, 4. So, something like this is a difficult topic to go over because it's such an emerging technology. It's just so emergent right now. And there's so much buzz around it, right? So when the internet first came out, there wasn't a lot of buzz around it because there was nothing to have the buzz on, right? You only had your nightly news. There's no social media or anything to talk about. But now we have a lot of people talking about it. I don't know if you watched, 60 Minutes the other day, Sunday, or last night, Elon Musk on Tucker Carlson, so these things are in the news. You're hearing about it. Some people are sick of hearing about it. You see that on forums and things like that. So I'm going to try to talk mostly to the 1s in this group. And then hopefully if you are a 2 or a 3, you can pick something up. But I want to make sure that I'm giving information that people came here for, and I'm not going over your head, because there's nothing worse than wasting your time for an hour and not learning anything. Okay. So good. All right. So remember, questions in the Q&A, I'll take them at the end. First of all, let's just get on a baseline. What's artificial intelligence? Okay. Built-in describes artificial intelligence as a wide-ranging branch of computer science concerned with building smart machines capable of performing tasks that typically require human intelligence. Okay, there's the keywords there. An Oxford Dictionary defines artificial intelligence as the theory and development of computer systems able to perform tasks that normally require human intelligence, such as visual perception, seeing, okay, speech recognition, decision-making, not necessarily what you should eat today, but decision-making, that's trees of information, if you ever did computer programming loops and things like that, yes, no, and translation between languages, okay? For our purposes, artificial intelligence is a field where people have created smart algorithms that can think like humans, okay? And these algorithms can write essays, they can solve math problems, they can even create art. They can write convincing sales pitches or emails, they can write news articles, they can win art competitions. And AI right now is currently revolutionizing many industries: journalism, healthcare, education. One journal I just saw last week, and the name is escaping me. They've decided they're going to let their journalists use AI writing assistants, as we're going to see in this hour, as part of their writing process. Okay, so that's here. It's here now. So, and you're likely to see it deployed wherever you work or in your school. And let's talk about first some real life examples that you're already familiar with, right? Google Maps, Waze. They predict the best way to go. There's an accident up ahead and you might want to go this other way. It's predicting where to go. How about your iPhone? Asks you to show your face, can see you, right? The visual perception we talked about before. Grammarly, if any of you use Grammarly, it's awesome. Grammarly suggests, commas, periods, spelling words correctly, taking words out. It's really awesome. That's artificial intelligence. Credit cards. How about that? Have you ever gotten a fraud alert? Probably have. Credit cards know patterns. They know patterns of your spending. And if something doesn't fit the pattern, they send you that fraud alert. Roombas, do you have a vacuum? I have one, right? It knows where to vacuum, and it doesn't do just one little part. It does the whole room, figures that out. And cars use many pieces of the real-time data to determine like the speed you should be going, or if you should move to a new lane or not. And then, even Teslas can recognize a stop sign. They know that there's 8 points and 8 sides. All right. I can see that. And Siri understands natural language, right? And it relies on natural language generation. You might hear that word, natural language processing and machine learning, so that it can effectively operate and it can improve over time. It's learning over time. And we also know about social media posts that were taken down by certain people, the certain posts that were posted and it was taken down. That is AI taking it down or flagged, right? So we all know about that. There's not a person going around and doing that as a computer, right? So, and I don't know if you ever use a chatbot online. Those are also AI tools. I used one, I remember years ago for a salon. I wanted to get something done with my hair. And it was amazing. I thought it was a real person until I realized it was a chatbot. It wasn't a real person on the other side. So these are all generative examples of AI, and it's generating something, okay? Let's bring this down to our website, because that's what this is about. And we can talk all kinds, we can sit here all day and talk about all kinds of philosophy issues and all kinds of stuff around this, right? And like some people are scared, and is it, the world going to get taken over? So, but for our purposes today, let's just talk about some of the tools for our website, all right? So there's content writing tools. Jasper, you might have heard of. ChatGPT, you probably have heard of. Word Hero. There's video editing tools such as Descript and Synthesia. And we have image creation tools. We have Midjourney, DALL-E, Canva. All those create images automatically. There's music creation tools. There's chat tools. I just was looking at one today where you can take multiple pictures of somebody and make a video. So there's new things coming out every day. It's very difficult to keep up with all of this. But for this hour of the presentation, I want to focus on writing tools. All right. So text generators or AI writing assistants. That's what I want to focus on today. And I want you to get familiarity around these tools so that you can feel comfortable trying them out, and then maybe starting to employ some of the concepts today. Right. So we're gonna start with this. We're gonna start on these content writing tools. And to back up just a second, how does this work? What you're going to see, I'm going to show you how this works. Okay. So how does this AI generate the text? Well, it doesn't read like a human being. It breaks our content up into tokens and little so I don't like might be I, and then don't, and then T, and then like, right? And each token is converted into numbers so that the AI can process it. And the AIs, what they do is they predict the next word or the next token that should come up in a sentence based off of the previous words or the tokens. All right. So, and this sentence right here, it might say, I don't like apples, or I don't like broccoli. Right. So it's going to predict that from the previous tokens that it's seen, that it's been trained on, that it's learning. All right. And they look at every token at the same time. They're not reading. They don't read left to right like we humans do. They read, and they're not thinking. They're not thinking like we do. Okay. It's just math. They're doing math functions. These big server rooms are full of computers doing math, and it's difficult for us to understand how it can happen in ones and zeros. But how are you able to look at me with ones and zeros? I don't know. And I don't know how the electricity comes through, but so it's hard for us to conceptualize. But I wanted you to understand this so that you understood that it's not reading. Okay. It's not, they're not biological neurons. They're numbers. All right. So ChatGPT, we're going to talk about first. We're going to talk about ChatGPT and Word Hero. What is ChatGPT? It's a chatbot created by OpenAI. You might have heard of OpenAI. It's one of the leading organizations in artificial intelligence research. And it was launched at the end of November in 2022. So you're not that far behind if you start dabbling now, but I would suggest you start dabbling now so you don't get further behind. And I don't have the statistic, but I have read several times that this software had the highest adoption rate of anything that we've had software wise. Like it took years for like TikTok to go, that was quick, but like Netflix to be adopted, all these things. I saw this chart, and then this ChatGPT was like immediately adopted. Okay. So, we're changing as a species as well. So, and it's free to use. There is an upgrade if you would like for $20 a month, but you can set up an account. It's free to use. The problem with the non-paid account is sometimes there are times when it's busy and you will not get a response. It'll tell you that it's busy or something like that. And also you can't use ChatGPT 4, which is different than 3.5. It's a different version. It's just a different version, but it has more things in it that you may like. But you know what? Just start with ChatGPT 3.5 for now with a free account if you haven't. And the main thing about this is that it's conversational, okay? Because word here we're going to look at is not conversational, and I'll show you what I mean by conversational, okay? That's another thing that you need to know about it. So here's I'm going to show you the first. As an example is ChatGPT when you open it up, okay? I asked ChatGPT to give me an inspirational quote, okay? So I said, good morning, ChatGPT. Can you give me an inspirational quote today? This is, I have it recording with my music. I'm feeling a bit down today. All right, so it's thinking for a second here, and I'm like, I wonder what kind of quote. Of course, I'd be happy to help. Here's an inspirational quote to brighten your day. Believe in yourself and all that you are. There's something inside you that's greater than any obstacle. By someone named Christian D. Larson, which could be fake, by the way. And then it gave me a pep talk. I hope this quote helps you feel motivated and uplifted. Remember, you're capable of overcoming any challenge that comes your way. Okay, so it gave me a pep talk. So one of the things I do want to mention is you read a lot about how there'll be quotes from certain people or quotes from from movies or whatever, books that are written or whatever. You need to check that. I don't know if there's a real person named Christian D. Larson or not, or if they ever said that, but the point is that it did provide this quote, okay? So that's just a quick, we're gonna look at it again, but this is a quick, okay? So here's another tool that I really like a lot. It's called Word Hero. And I like it because it's simple to use, it's super easy, right? It's great to use it for social media posts, an email subject line, if you wanna make that better, product title, something like that. I do like it, all right? It's an online application, it's a paid subscription, and you can get a lifetime license through AppSumo right now for $89 for life. Okay, so that might be something you want to get. And it's good for short little taglines, all right? So here's Word Hero in action. So I wanted to write a great social media caption for this webinar that was compelling and interesting. So I chose social media and I chose image captions and I added a tone, a professional upbeat. I gave it a tone and I said, join me next week as I present a webinar on AI for creating website copy do's and don'ts. It's free online. You will learn so much. Okay, that's kind of boring. It's okay, right? Like most of us write like that, right? Look what it gave me. Pretty awesome, right? So ready to level up your copywriting game? Join me next week for a free online webinar on AI for creating website copy, do's and don'ts. You'll learn heaps and walk away with the tools to take your writing to the next level. And then it gave me hashtags, like and some emojis. All right, so you may be saying if you're a one and you haven't seen this before, you might be like, oh my God, this is crazy, right? I remember the first time I saw it, I was like, this is nuts. So yeah. So then, but I wanted that one, I wanted to add more about the pitfalls, right? Because I want to add a little more urgency, not like, yeah, we're going to learn about AI. I want to be like, kind of like let people know that just don't do it, go whatever. Like there's some things you need to know about, right? So I said, learn what not to do so you don't suffer the consequences. I added that there and I kept it professional upbeat, okay? So then you'll see, you wait for a second here or two and back will come a response with a little more urgency. So this one I liked. If you've ever wondered if artificial intelligence can help you with website copywriting, join me next week for a free webinar on AI for creating website copy, do's and don'ts. Find out what not to do so you don't suffer the consequences. Sign up now and get ready to learn. A little stack of books. So you can see how this was clearly a better writer than I am, right? Like it's much better. But I do want to point out that or really mention, you're going to hear about this, and as you start working with these AI writing tools, you'll realize what you get out of the tool is just as good, is only as good as what you put in. So you need to be putting in something quality to get quality out. Okay, garbage in, garbage out. We heard that right before. So this is called prompting. You prompt the AI. Those ones that I said, I want you to do this. That's the prompt. I'm going to show you more prompts. Okay. And by the way, if you are interested, at the end of this, you can send me an email, and I have a 2-page sheet that I have put on there, guidelines for prompting. It's a beginner's worksheet. It gives you a bunch of ideas. It gives you some things to think about how to prompt. So you can email me and I can send it to you. So, we're not the computer. So we as human beings, we're still teaching this, and we still need to get our information out, right? So what do we want to do? We want to think of AIs as kind of like little smart 5-year-olds. Think of it that way. They can do a lot of things, right? I have a 5-year-old granddaughter, almost 6. She can do a lot of things. She can help me around the kitchen stuff, but she has to have careful instruction. Like, I can't just be like, can you load the dishwasher? I have to be like, can you put all the plates over here, right? So, you want to give them clear instruction. And like I said, the process of giving these instructions is called prompting. All right. So it performs a task, and these prompts can be as simple as a question, or it can be multiple paragraphs. And the AI tools, which are based on the GPT-3 or the 4 architecture, they use natural language processing to generate the text. And it's based off of the user's input. So users can provide the prompts. That's essentially the starting point, or the context for the AI to generate a response. A successful prompt is one that provides the AI with enough information or context to generate something relative or coherent response. So in other words, a good prompt should be specific and clear and focused on, a single subject. You want to use precise language. You want to focus on a single topic, like I just said. You want to use natural language. So if you have a lot of jargon in your industry, it might not understand that. And you want to be patient and you want to experiment. The more you do this, the better that you'll get. Okay. So let's just go over some types of prompts quickly. There's standard prompts like question. Okay. You can ask a question like, how many people live in Italy? What's the capital of Italy? Right. So AI will give you that response. There's instructional prompts. You can say, how can I do something? Like, how can I, bake a cake, or how can I change my tire, or how can I do something? There's creative prompts. So you can say, write a short story about a time traveler. Actually, I gave it a prompt this morning and I said, write a little short story about a dog sitting on a couch. And it literally wrote this story about this woman walking the dog across the street. It was this whole thing. You can have it compose a poem. You can do personal prompts, right? So what should I do if I'm feeling anxious? You can't ask it questions like, what color should I, or what should I eat today? It might say, well, I can't tell you what to eat, but here are some healthy things. That's what it will say, right? And there's more. You can historical role prompting. Okay. So here's an informational prompt that I did. I said, can you tell me all of the US presidents in order? So this is great for doing research, right? I'm in a class right now. I'm enrolled at MIT University in a course on no-code AI and machine learning for making business decisions. And I was having trouble around a couple of topics, right? I like type 1 and type 2 errors are like all backwards in my mind. I keep thinking about it and then I go backwards. So I asked it, can you explain to me what a type 1 or type 2 error? It's the same type of thing. I'm asking for information. So here is listing, asked all the presidents, listing all the presidents in order. And I didn't even ask it for the dates, but it's giving me the dates. So, you think you can use Google for this? Sure. But, when you go to Google for this or go to a search engine, you're going to have to jump around a couple different websites because usually you come up with some that are crappy and some that are good and some that have the information, but it's way buried down the page. If you look up a recipe, they're always at the bottom. So like this is right here at your fingertips. Now, I wanted to do an informational prompt with more detail. So I said, can you write me a 200-word essay about the benefits of drinking water? Okay, so I gave it some parameters. Essay, how long I wanted it to be, and the topic. Okay, there's different ways you can write that out, but you can just use natural language, it will understand. This is what, like in return, this is real life. Drinking water is essential for our health and well-being. It is a simple and effective way to keep our bodies hydrated and functioning properly. Here are some key benefits of drinking water. Hydration. Water is necessary for our bodies to function properly. It helps regulate body temperature, transport nutrients, remove waste products, blah, 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 all this stuff. And it talks about clearer skin. So then I said, because we're conversational, remember I said conversation, we're having a conversation in this chat here. Can you give me more detail for 0.5? I didn't tell it anything else. It knows what it wrote for 0.5. 0.5 was about clearer skin. So now, sure, here's some more detail about how drinking water can benefit your skin. And it's going into more detail. Water is essential for maintaining healthy skin. When your body is properly hydrated, your skin will better able to retain moisture, which can help keep it soft, supple, and smooth. Conversely, when you're dehydrated, your skin may become dry, flaky, and itchy. In addition to keeping your skin hydrated, it's going on and on about drinking water. And the reason that worked is because this one, like I said, is conversational. It's using natural language. So when you use ChatGPT, you have multiple chats. So when you want to start a new topic, you start a new chat and you can go back and forth with it, asking for more detail. Can you rephrase that? Can you say this in a different tone of voice? Can you give me more instruction? Whatever it is. Okay. Then there's prediction prompts. Can you predict if the earth will have more or less drinking waters for humans in the future? I'm like, let's just see what that says, right? So this is a prediction prompt. And now it says, as an AI language model, I cannot predict the future, but I can give you some information, trends, and predictions from other sources that might affect it, okay? And so now it's giving me, according to the United Nations, by 2050, the world's population is going to be this, and the water and everything. So it's giving me some information about, it's not predicting, but it's giving me some information. Now, like I said, sometimes you need to fact check this information. Don't just copy this and pretend like it's real, okay? Like you need to fact check it, because what some of the AI tools do, and you might have heard of this, is called what's called hallucinate, where I heard a really good definition of it this morning. But basically when it makes up information sometimes when it doesn't know the real answer. So, eventually it's not going to be the case, but we're in ChatGPT 3 and 4. Okay. What do you think it's going to be in 3 years? Probably going to be on 104. Okay. So it's going to get better. So what I'm saying is that you need to fact check it right now. We're going to be going over a little bit of this. Okay. So there's ways to modify your prompt. So if you go in there and you ask it a question and you're like, I'm not getting the right thing out of this, you can modify your prompt. And there's a lot of ways to modify your prompts. Okay. So you can give it some style guidance. So you can add descriptors. You can give it a priming prompt, which means you give it something to base it off of already. Say, see this text here? I wrote this article. I want you to write an article about this other topic in the same tone. That's like a priming prompt. You're priming it. You can change or ask it to add, remove, or wording you don't like it. Oh, don't use that word. Can you rewrite this and not use that word? You can ask it to add more details. You can ask it to provide more context, change the tone. You can ask a follow-up question like we just did, right? You just saw that. All right. So, and the adjectives you can try, you can say funny, unfriendly, use academic syntax. You can say, speak to me like a professor would be speaking to their class, like a scientist would be talking, like a child, like a first grader would be talking, right? I've done that example and that can come out fun, really fun. So like instead of the history of jazz music, you might say, what impact did jazz music have on the American culture in 20th century? So it's going to give you, because the history of jazz, like, what do you really need? This is what we call search intent. And how Google, we're not listening to too much about Google these days, right? But how Google is changing to Google Analytics 4. If you have a website, you know that you need to change to Google Analytics 4 to do different types of measuring on your website. But Google's trying to get closer and closer to search intent. What is the user looking for? What is it? And so when we write it into Google, we're prompting Google as well. And when you type it in and it comes back with a bad response, you don't like that list, what do? You refine your search. You add in more details. You change what you're prompting Google. So you're already in the business of prompting. Okay. So you just work on providing more details. So here's how to modify your prompt. So I wanted to know, why do businesses located in beach areas on the Gulf Coast use red street light bulbs? Like I went there and I was in a beach area and I was like, why are all these light bulbs red? It kind of looked kind of creepy. Like it was like, I don't know, like a horror movie. But I'm like, this is really weird. There's got to be some reason for it. So as you can see, actually, let me pause this. It didn't know why. It didn't know why. It's, I'm sorry, I don't have any information that they do it without more context or information, right? It's difficult to say for sure. However, the different colors can have different meanings. Well, I'm not talking about the red light district. Like, that's not what I was like interested in. Okay. So I had to give the AI writing tool, right, some more things. So this time I said, on the Florida Gulf Coast, establishments must use red light bulbs for outdoor lighting because of the turtles. Can you tell me more about that? And then I want to show you this. I kept this here because sometimes you run into an issue where you have to refresh your screen or something like that. So I got it, something went wrong. So that's okay. If you have that, you either regenerate or refresh your screen. I wanted to keep that and show that to you. But here we go. So here we go. And then I said, can you write me a 200-word article about the importance of using red light bulbs outdoors in these beach communities? So I gave it some context of what I was looking for. Now it wrote, why? It's home to several species of turtles, loggerheads, green-seed leatherbacks during nesting season. And unfortunately, artificial lighting can lead them away from the ocean and towards land where they're at risk of dehydration. And so it understood what I was trying to do, right? So then I said, can you rewrite it in language that a first grader would understand? Sea turtles live on the beaches of Florida and they lay eggs in the sand. Baby turtles hatch from these eggs and go into the ocean. But when there are bright lights on the beach, it can confuse the turtles and make them go the wrong way. This is dangerous for turtles because they can get lost, hurt, or even die. And then, sorry about the squeaky. I got to take that out of there. Can you I sped up this so you didn't have to say it and wait for it to write it. I said, can you rewrite the previous article in the tone of voice of Mark Twain? So you see, it's doing that as well. Look at in conclusion, y'all, we got to be mindful of them turtles and the other critters that call the beach their home. By using red light bulbs, we can make sure they stay on the right path and keep on thriving. That's nuts, right? Like, let's just pause for a second. I don't know if any of you are seeing this for the first time, but it's pretty overwhelming and it's still amazing to me. All right. Let's talk about what we can use it for. Okay, now that you've seen it. Now you might be like, oh my God, they are definitely, Terminator is definitely real, right? So let's talk about what to use it for. Let's talk about how to use it in our lives right now, and how it can make our lives better. Okay. Research and starting writing. Do you have any idea what a great tool? You have no excuse for writer's block ever again. Never, never, never. You can overcome your writer's block. You can get started. You can streamline your research process. You can say, give me an outline for this blog post that you need to write, and then you can go and write it, right? And you can gather initial content ideas. We're gonna talk about each of these, okay? On my next slides. And I want to move because I added some stuff to this that I want to really show you. Okay. So like I just said, it can help you with starting writing. And if you don't see that, then rewatch this video and play around with it yourself. Play around so that you can get better at writing. You can start your writing process. It can help you get ideas. A lot of us struggle with that. I'm going to tell you one thing. The biggest problem with web development, all we web developers complain about, you know what we complain about? If you're not a web developer and if you're on the other side with a web developer, you want to know what we talk about you guys? We talk about how no one can get us content. And that's where the problem, it always slows up. And why? It's difficult. When I had to write my own website content, I slowed down. I'm not good at that either. It's arduous. No one wants to sit down and write about our business. I'm going to show you how to do it really easily later, but it's really hard. Okay. So use this to be a better client and to also get your website done, to get it done. Okay. AI can help you with SEO. Yeah. So that's one of these, of your website. It's not just throwing up some words and pictures on a page, right? That's why I started Toto Coaching, because it's not about going and picking out a little template and then filling it up with stuff. That's not a website. Like, if you think that is, I don't know why you're wasting your time doing it, because you're not going to get found online that way. Okay. There's a lot of things you need to do. Okay. That's what we teach in our class. One of the things is SEO, which is search engine optimization. You need to do keyword research, You need to do analysis. You need to generate SEO titles. If you don't have titles on your website pages, you need to add them with your keywords. You need to add meta descriptions because Google's just picking those. If you don't give it to them, Google's going to do their own thing, and it might not be what you like. All right. Plus, it's not helping you with SEO. And it can help you generate set headings and subheadings. So it's a great tool to help you with SEO. All right. It can also help you improve your content. Sorry, I'm gonna drink. So it can rewrite your content. You saw how we did it in a different voice, right? It can check for spelling and grammar errors. If you know that's not your strong point, it's not everyone's strong point. Some people are not good at writing, right? They make mistakes or dyslexia. Totally get it. Like everyone has something. Use a tool like this. Get your writing up to par. Okay. You can also analyze some content, and you can write in a specific tone. Like if you have to write something and you maybe don't write on the level that your audience is at, put it into a tool and say, hey, level this up or level it down, whatever you need to do, okay, for your audience. So it appeals to your audience, okay? You can also have it help you write emails and social media content, little small snippets of text that are not going to be run through an analyzer, which I'm going to show you in a minute. Okay. So social media posts, you saw how I did that before, right? Effective emails. If you get an email from a client or a customer that's really like angry and it like, sometimes you read those things, you're like, that wasn't our fault, or this person's being unreasonable, right? And you want to write back. So, our normal thing so far has been take a step back, take 10 deep breaths, maybe go do something else and come back and write the email, but you still have to write it. You still might have those emotions. Okay. So write that not an email, write it in a Word document or Google Doc somewhere else where it's not going to get accidentally sent. Don't do that. I've done that before. Long time ago. I've done that before. Don't do that. Because so you're going to write it and then you can copy that out, can use your words, whatever you want, put it in and say, can you rewrite this so that it's more polite or something like that? Okay, that's another good use for it. Okay, let's talk about what not to use it for before I show you some specific examples. Your blog post with no edits, and I'm going to tell you why. You can do it. You can have it write a full blog post for you and then just copy paste it. Okay, you can do it. It's possible. Not a good idea. I'll tell you why in a minute. You can have it write your website copy. Okay, that's a little bit better of using one of these writing tools. Besides a blog post is more thought and it should give like all this information. Usually your website pages are about you and talking about your services, right? So there's a difference there. So that's a little different. Okay, but you still want to make sure you edit it. And then do not, if you are a student or in school, do not use it for writing your papers. Like, that already, probably, because guess what we have? We have something called AI cheat check, and there's other tools that are out there. It's basically like a plagiarism checker, but the way it works is this is it in action. So here's AI cheat check, and I took my text that it generated before, right, about the water, and look, 100% certain it was written by AI. Now, sometimes it gets it wrong, and sometimes it gets it right. This is only going to get better. We're like at the infancy. So of course this is going to get better. So AI generated content is going to be able to be detected. So if you're in a situation where you can't use it, then you need to be aware of that. Okay. This is the question that everyone has. Is AI content against Google searches guidelines? And this is directly from developers.google.com. Appropriate use of AI or automation is not against our guidelines. This means that it is not used to generate content primarily to manipulate search rankings, which is against the spam policy. So if you're using it maliciously, black hat, we talk about that in our course, black hat and white hat methods of SEO. If this is black hat method, if you're using it maliciously, then you're going to get banned. But if you're using it, okay, you're not. But there's caveat here. This is what Google cares about now. And I have a lesson, I go over this as well. EEAT. In a nutshell, experience, expertise, authoritativeness, and trustworthiness. This is what Google is looking for, okay? Google is looking that you show that you have this. And if you're not showing this right now on your website, you need to start showing this online. You need to start, if you are an expert in whatever field you're in, and this really, really applies to there's some topics that are YMYL, which are your money, your life. So if it has to do with like financial or health related issues or something like very important, you have to show EEAT. If you are a doctor in the financial industries and you have someone else, you should have your name on all your blog posts, and you should have a bio on all your blog posts, and you should have a gravatar with your bio, and you should have all your contact information, and you should have all your social media so that Google and other search engines know that you're a real person and you're allowed to write. Because if I write an article about something about health, I am not an expert. And guess what? That will get banned by Google or by search engines because they don't want people reading what Jennifer DeRosa has to say about any kind of cancer that someone in your family might have. Okay. I'm not an expert, but if you are an expert in that field, in one of those fields, you need to show it, and there's specific ways you need to show it. Bringing us back to AI. If you take ChatGPT's content, which is just content from the internet, right? It's like kind of like a summary, right? Giving you, and you just slap that on your website. Are you showing at all EEAT? Because guess what? I can get the same as you can. No, you're not. So this is where it's important that you add something. If you generate something with ChatGPT or another AI writing assistant, you need to go in there and add your slant, add your experience, add something new, add a what next, all right? Add something else of value. This is very important. I'm going to show you an example of this. It's 12:41, so I want to make sure we have time for questions. So I decided the other day, so I have a fast track program. It's going live this week. It's short, it's only 15 lessons, and it's less money. It's for people who want to build a website quickly, but they want to do it right, but they don't want to learn so much information. They want the highlights of what they need to do. Okay. So I needed to write some more content around for that page, for the registration page, because registration, I just sent it out. So this is what I did. I had a page already on my website that talked on the features. So I said, summarize in table format the features, benefits, and pain solved for this product, because that's another lesson we have in our course. If you haven't done this exercise, it's really awesome. You want to write down all the problems your customers have, which are the pain points, right? And you want to talk about the benefits of your solution. And then you want to talk about the features of your solution that give the people the benefit who are viewing your website. That's how you do your messaging. And if you're not doing that already, you need to do your messaging. You got to talk to your customer. You got to get them hooked right in the beginning. So I wanted to get this table because this is how it's a good way to start off with writing content for your website. So this is what I came back with. It read that page in a second. DIY website class. Learn at your own pace, anywhere, anytime, with benefit. Pain solved. Struggling to find time for in-person classes. Hello. Step-by-step video tutorials. Benefit. Clear and concise instructions for easy learning. This didn't get it right. Difficulty in understanding written tutorials. Well, maybe if people have difficulty understanding written tutorials, yeah, I guess that would be a pain point. Okay. This is totally wrong. Customizable templates. That's not right. But you see how, risk-free investment. So you see what it did. Okay. There's another way. I may end up doing a boot camp on this. If you're interested in this, let me know about that. I might do a boot camp on this because it would just be a small fee. But I did this myself. This is awesome. What I'm going to tell you right now. Record, descript, transcript, ChatGPT. Remember how I told you that what people, clients of website developers are there, they don't get their content done, including me. I'm in the same thing. I'm not scolding you. But I kind of am, but I'm scolding myself too. So I'm in this group. So this is what I did. This is what I want to teach people how to do. I recorded myself. I took my phone. I videoed myself. I just talked. I talked about my class. I talked about why people should take it. I talked about the benefits of it. I talked about what we go over. I did a 5-minute talk on my phone. I just talked to it. Put my phone up there. I put it on a little tripod. I videoed myself and I just talked. You can do it audio too. Then I took it and I put it into what's called Descript. I'm not going to show you that today because we don't have enough time. Descript is a really awesome tool for editing video. It's so amazing. It's so amazing. So I put it in there. Descript as a transcript. this transcript. I took out all my ums and all my spaces, copied, pasted it into ChatGPT. I prompted ChatGPT, this is my prompt. Please rewrite and reorganize the transcript and deliver to me copy that I can put on my website page that not only advertises the Fast Track program, but that lets visitors to the webpage understand the benefits of the Fast Track program and why they would want to take it. Break up the content. This is key. And if you're not doing this now, I have some other webinars you can come to of how to break your content up. And we go over this in the course. You need to break your content up for search engines and for people. And then you need to tag your headlines with heading tags. If you're not doing that now, you need to do it. And then you have to put your keywords in there. So anyways, break up the content into small paragraphs with a compelling headline for each section that addresses pain points that Toto Coaching and the Fast Track program addresses and solves. Convince the user that they should sign up for the course so they will build a website fast and correctly with guidance from expert. That is like a paragraph I wrote, right? Want to see what it came back with? So it took my 5 minutes of me talking gibberish, like just talking, right? Like that's awesome. So no one has an excuse for not getting their content ready anymore. Do you? You don't have an excuse. So if you want me to go, I might do a boot camp on this, like, you know, do a 1 day or a 2 day thing where we all do it together. I teach you how to do it. I don't know. Let me know. I don't know if people want to see that or not, but let me know. Anyways, look it. And so that's amazing. But then you know what I said? Rewrite that last paragraph and make it a little more approachable. Because see, you know how I am? Like I'm like a little, like I'm not boring. I don't think I'm boring, right? So I don't know if you think I'm boring, but I don't feel boring. So I was like, and by the way, if you want to be on the boot camp, then definitely email me because you got to get on my email list, unless we do it with Score or whatever. But anyways, rewrite that. So I wanted to rewrite. So it's a little more convincing, and I wanted to have a little humor in it, maybe a little bit, right? We get it. As a DIY business owner, you poured your heart into building your website only to find it's not attracting your traffic you'd hope for. Fret not. The total. Now, I wouldn't say that, but I use this sentence. I use some of this on my website. So I told it to be, just change it a little bit. Remember, we talked about that with prompting. And then it's 12:47. I want to show you this. I did this yesterday with a neighbor who came over for dinner. She was visiting, and her job is to write product descriptions for products. Now you can see where these people might be nervous about their jobs, right? But I was telling her you need to understand how to use this so you can get ahead of the game and you can figure out how you can add value. And that's what you all need to do here. If you're all getting nervous about losing your jobs, which we can talk about that another hour, then get on it. Like get on it now, start using it and figure out a way. Use your, as Josh says, my colleague, he's so awesome. Josh is also one of the coaches. I love him. So Josh, amazing person, by the way, one of the best people working this earth. Josh was like, he likes to call it your, oh my gosh, what did he call it? Your something intelligence. Your actual intelligence. Use your actual intelligence, okay, to figure out how you're going to use this to your advantage. You got to figure it out. You're going to use it to your advantage. So anyways, she gave me a description. So please write, so that's why I prompted it. Please write a product description for this product. So she gave me the product. Okay. She said, the product was faux suede waist belt. I spelled it wrong, with elastic back, fabric covered buckle. Although actually I knew that I meant waist belt. It fixed it, right? Buckle allows for adjustable fit, black and brown, 3 1/4 width. Sizes large to extra large. Okay. And I said, well, give me a tone. She said, well, mature, Midwestern mature. Okay. That's who it goes for. And she said, and it was women like 50 to 65. Okay. I'm like, audience is mature women. So that's what we gave it. You want to see what it came back with? Right. Introducing our faux suede waist belt, the perfect blend of sophistication and comfort for the mature Midwestern woman. Designed with you in mind, this elegant accessory is both stylish and functional, offering an adjustable fit and exceptional support. You go, see, it goes on and on. 4 paragraphs. Okay, so like, if you don't figure out how to use this, I don't know what to tell you. You got to figure it out. I said to her, rewrite this message, right, and and language that Martha Stewart would use. And I said, rewrite this so that a first grader would understand. And I'm not going to show you those examples, but I just want to tell you, we just fooled around with that a little bit. And she goes, oh my God, I wonder if it could create a brand strategy. Now, I've never created a brand strategy because I haven't been in that role doing it, but that's what they have to do. They have to sometimes create. She said it takes them a couple months to create a brand strategy. So I said, can you please create a brand strategy? There's a positioning statement. I didn't tell it to list all these things. I said, just do a brand strategy. Target audience, brand promise, brand personality. Marketing channels. Here are all the marketing channels: online presence, collaborator, content marketing, community engagement, retail partnerships. Launch strategy. Host a virtual launch event. Offer exclusive. Utilize target social media. Offer limited time. Can you go into more detail on point 1? Remember, we're conversational because it's conversational. Virtual launch event with fashion show. Virtual launch event is an excellent way to showcase the elegant embrace. It named it. Did it show that? It named it. And maybe I cut that out of thing. It named a belt, waist belt, to a wider audience while adhering to any social distancing measures. I even brought that into it. Okay. So in event planning, select a date and time, and it goes on and on and on. I don't have all the screenshots here, but I wanted to show that to you so that you understand. So, oh, sorry, I didn't mean to leave this slide. It's time to get writing. And it's time to get it done. Trick is making it work, right? So start playing around, figure out how you can use it to your advantage, and do it.
Great. Thanks, Jennifer. We have a lot of questions and a lot of great information, a lot of great demos there. So, and people were asking during the chat for your email, and you can see it here on the screen. Plus, I put it in the chat earlier. So we'll go to questions now and take as many as we can, and up until the top of the hour. The first one is from Ed, and it goes back to the quote you had at the beginning, that if the quote it sent you from Kristen Larson was made up, then how can we trust any information it generates that it is true and accurate?
Right. And so that's what I was talking about. So this is the thing. I was on a really great webinar with Jasper. Jasper is another big name that you'll probably hear as an AI writing assistant, as a tool. You can sign up for it. It's paid. So the woman who was presenting it, I think her name was Megan, she was awesome. I really liked the presentation. And she was saying, look at us as marketing people, right? We do a little bit of like research and this, and then a big amount of our time is content writing. And then we do a little bit of fact checking, a little bit of editing. This is getting flipped. So now what we need to do is actually check the facts. You need to check the facts. You need to check them, check them, check them, check them. You need to still do that right now. In, I don't know, a year, maybe we won't need to as much, but you still need to check them right now because they hallucinate.
And Jennifer, there's a question coming later about, does ChatGPT, can you fact check using ChatGPT? Darlene was asking that question. So we'll maybe take that now.
Well, you can ask it the question again, and sometimes it give you another result. I asked a couple months ago, I asked it on this thing. I said, give me all the presidents that had served 2 terms, and it included Donald Trump in that list. So, but it did not include Obama. So like, that was weird. I'm like, how could it screw that up? So you need to like check the information.
Agreed. Just put that in bold, people. Here's one from Chris. Regarding the conversational model, how do you feel about using niceties like please, thank you? I noticed you greeted ChatGPT with good morning. Does that impact the quality of the responses you get?
Think so. I just do that because that's just my style. So that doesn't need to be in there, but that's just my style. That's just what I like to do. I usually get on it. If I get on, I'm like, good morning.
Here's one from Crystal. Can you choose the type of writing, example, technical writing versus creative writing?
1,000,000%. 1,000,000%. Yes. You should do it too. It'll give you, remember, in, out. So if you want that sheet, we talk about that on the prompting sheet that, but in, whatever you put in, garbage out. So if you want something technical, ask it for something technical. Yes.
Okay. I'm not sure the reference here, but maybe you are. Here's one from Crystal. Can you ask it to be 508 compliant?
I'm sure you can. I don't know what that is either, but I bet any money it'll be able to do that. And if it doesn't, it might ask you you might have to have some, remember how we had the jargon before, like you didn't understand the sea turtle thing. So you might have to prompt it a little bit so it understands what that means. And then I bet you that it can.
Here's one from Holly. Can it create a database of emails, for example, plumbers in Stanford?
Okay, I'm going to tell you what I did this morning. So it won't know people's personal information. It can't really, well, I didn't ask it that question, and I doubt it unless there's a public database out there of emails. If there's a public database, then yeah, it can. But if there's no public database, it can't. But this is what I did this morning. One of the things when you have a business, you need a marketing engine. You need someone sending you leads all the time, right? So you're not worrying about where your next meal is coming from. So one of the things that I'm trying to do is find associations that marketing managers would want to be part of and partner with them and let them know about my course, right? Because marketing managers is one of my audiences that in small businesses. So I had my VA who I paid, I don't know how many hours he spent making a spreadsheet for me of marketing associations that I could and this morning I'm like, wait a minute. I'm like, can you give me in table format 13 marketing associations that I wanted and it gave me their websites, it gave me how many members they had, and it gave me the names of them. So kind of on the same question. Yes, do that.
I also have another example in a recent situation I was in. It can also write the RFP for you. If you're going out to RFP with some vendors, you can actually, and it will give you the first draft. Obviously, you're going to have to add your own stuff, but it will, get you started.
That's amazing.
Let me see. Here's one that was actually in the chat. Does Word Hero learn like ChatGPT does over a series of requests? In other words, get better the more requests you ask.
I think it's getting better as a model overall from all these inputs, but not from mine. You can just keep regenerating your response. So it's not conversational, but it is learning. It is learning, but ChatGPT will learn supposedly your style. Whereas I don't know if Word Hero learns your style, but it is learning. All these models are learning. That's what they're doing. They're learning. And you saw some of them, there's a little thumbs up and thumbs down. Sometimes I do that, and that helps the model know, oh yes, this was good and this was not good. And most of the tools have that kind of.
Here's another one also from Kathleen. Have you played with Bard, the Google one, and any thoughts on Bard versus ChatGPT?
I have not played with Bard yet. No, I think I'm on the list. I think I'm on the list to get it. I can't remember, but I'm all over the place with it. I've not played with Bard yet.
Okay. Here's one from Joyce. I'm still leery about using AI because I do not know the source of the information that the AI is presenting. For example, about the health benefits of drinking water. How can I learn more about the source information?
Well, it's the same thing as if you were to read a terrible website. Like say you looked it up online, because most people probably trust most of it, have some trust in the internet, right? So you would look it up online and then you'd read about it. And depending on the website, you'd see the source of it. You would trust it or not, more or less, right? So, I mean, it's the same thing. But what if someone put up a website, we hear about this fake news and stuff like that's not true. So like we need to all be thinking this way, especially because now it can recognize voices and stuff, which I'm working on something with someone tomorrow on that that's one thing that I'm gonna be working on. And if you want to follow me on social media, I want to figure out how we can do kind of an SSL certificate, we as humans, so you know that you're not being taken by an AI. So anyways, that I'm kind of going off topic there. You got to fact check.
Yeah, we got time for maybe one or two more. Here's one from Darlene. Is there AI software for music, like ideas, lyrics, songs?
No, first of all, ChatGPT could write a song. Write me a song about the sea turtles. It would do it in 2 seconds. And secondly, yes, you can go on. I think I mentioned some on the slides back there, but you can go just type in AI music tool. You can make your own song. You'd be like, beats per minute. I want it more. I want it this style. Give me in this key, I guess, right? I'm not a music person. You can do it like B, C, A, key, sharp, whatever yes, you can totally make your own music.
Okay. We could go on a long time here, but here's one last one from Teresa regarding websites. Can you use AI for a website you've already have live, and if so, how?
Well, that's what I did. So you mean writing the content for it? That's what so my website's already live, and that's what I showed you. I mean, you can do it in a couple ways. You can either have it look at a current page that you think is pretty good to write content from another page, or you can give it some prompts. Say, this is what I do. This is some things about our business. Or maybe you have a brochure already that you just want to turn into website content. Copy that brochure, put it in, and then you can get the results back out. You want it chunked up with headlines. Yeah.
Unfortunately, we are out of time, and it's all the time we have for questions today. Just as a reminder to everyone, this has been recorded and the materials will be available within the next day or so on our website under on-demand webinars. And our next live webinar is tomorrow, April 19th at noon, and the topic is planning and managing business growth with Bill Schloth presenting. And again, more specifics on our website. Again, if you'd like to take advantage of the free individual counseling, you can use the link that we showed earlier on the screen, or you could go to our website and click on Request a Mentor. And if I could ask you to please fill out your evaluations, they really help us going forward. And on behalf of SCORE, thanks to all of you for attending today's live webinar. And in closing, a big thank you to Jennifer for a very enthusiastic and content-filled talk today. And stay well, everyone, and have a great rest of your day. Thanks, Jennifer.
Thank you. Thanks, Bob. Thanks, SCORE.